bike needs to make you feel something when you sit on it, as if you're on a particular type of bike. It makes you feel something, and this does. This immediately you get on this bike, you know you're on a scrambler. Right, good morning everybody. Yes, God, it's lovely and sunny today, and we're going to go down and pick up the Triumph XC400 from Dave Death's. We did go there yesterday, but I didn't film any of that because all I did was just met Steve there, because it was a convenient place to meet Steve. So I was wondering, why didn't you actually go to Dave Death's? We're going there today, but I got back yesterday. And you know, it's going to be a lovely sunny day today. But there must have been an hour yesterday evening. They hailed again, and it was hail and wind. And I was trying to come back this morning. I thought the bike's all right, but it was laying on its side. The cover was still on it, but it was laying on its side. A nightmare. So never mind. But yeah, she's good to go. Sat her up. I got the panniers on, so it was just sort of, it was easy just to lift it back up, although it was quite sunk in the mud with the centre stand. Bless this bike. But anyway, we're heading off to pick up the bike, go for a nice ride, and I'll do a review of the XC400 for everybody before we do anything else today. See you when we get there. Right, so here we are. We are out on the Triumph XC400. And I must say, first impressions, you know, I mean, I haven't ridden one of these Triumphs for a little while. But actually, this feels, well, rightly or wrongly, it feels more together than when I rode the original ones. There's something about it. I don't know whether it's because we've got the those lovely tubeless rims, spoked rims on there. It's hard to say, but it just feels so much nicer. Not that the other one didn't feel nice. It just feels like a really, really sorted bike. And I think we should have a quick look around a bit before I do a bit more riding. We're on the Esplanade. Nice. Let's find somewhere to have a look at the bike. I'm going to ride down here for a bit. But you know, I'm really enjoying this, and I'm really, really lucky. I mean, Dave Death's Motorcycles. I said I could have this all day if I like. I don't think I need it all day. It's very nice, isn't it? I wanted to find somewhere I could grab a quick coffee. But let's hang around on the Esplanade. I'll tell you what though, one thing I did notice straight away, it's got a fantastic turning circle. I'd forgotten how good that was compared to a lot of bikes. It's like a London taxi. There's nothing worse than when you get on a bike and the first thing you notice is that you can't turn. You can't get around on it because the steering's got such a short lock. But this is very, very good. So the 400XC, and I think the interesting thing with this bike is that there are subtle differences, but nothing major compared to the standard 400X, because we've got some different paint jobs, and I like the white. I think the white works really well. But the biggest difference are the spoked wheels, and they are rimless, tubeless spoked rims, which are really nice. But they are the same size as the original, so you sort of think you're gonna. When you look at them, you think, oh, there's more meat there. It's just a bigger wheel, but it's not actually. The other difference is you get black seat instead of the brown. I do like this is actually quite a comfy seat. Hand guards, you get engine guards as well, but there's no difference in the actual suspension setup or anything like that. It's all as is really, but it does, as I mentioned on the ride, it does feel very different. It really has a proper feel of the 1200, and even in the shop, when you have them sort of lined up in the shop, you have to go and look to work out who's who, you know, in that respect. I think the bike itself just handles really well. You know, you get this thing I said to you before, that a bike needs to make you feel something when you sit on it, as if you're on a particular type of bike. It makes you feel something, and this does. This immediately get on this bike, you know you're on a scrambler, and I think that's the thing. It's not trying to be anything else, and it's not a tricked up something, from another range. It feels like a scrambler, and I know you're going to have limitations on the suspension and stuff like that, but it does feel like you could do quite a lot of roading on this. And you start thinking, if someone was prepared to breathe on the suspension on this bike, I think it would actually be quite a handy little scrambler, and would certainly do the your sort of off-roading stuff that you get all the guys doing all the green laning on. I think this would be a great green laning bike, I really do. It's light enough for that, isn't it? But it's been interesting to see how this platform has developed, isn't it, over the last couple of years? Because it was an absolute, roaring success when this 400 series of bikes came out. And, Triumph absolutely nailed it, didn't they, with their bikes. And they came out at a time that I think the key thing with Triumph is that when they released the bikes were available. And I think that's the key. And they weren't messing people around, they weren't sort of tempting us with the bike. The bike was there ready to go. And I think that's really important, because I've seen it with other manufacturers, and they've press shots and got a few people out on bikes or on the demo bikes, and you just can't get hold of the bikes, and that's really frustrating. And I think Triumph really got that spot on with this bike. What I did notice, and it may be just the colour, is that the actual bike itself, it feels so much more akin to the 1200 now. When you put them side by side in a showroom, we had this in the showroom earlier, you have to go up and look at them to see which one's 1200, which one's a 400, which is amazing, isn't it? Obviously you can tell the difference once you start it up, but I think that was another key to why the bike was so successful, because was the look. It felt like a substantial bike. It didn't feel like you were buying anything which didn't have the presence on the road, and this does. I tell you what, this bike feels now. It feels more sorted, as if they've done just a few little tweaks on it, just to give it that's I don't know. It's not more refined, but it's sort of it's matured. I think the bike's matured, and I think in this current setup, you can't sort of imagine that the wheels will make any difference, but maybe they do. I'm not sure, but it feels it feels like this platform's matured well. And I do like it in the white. I think it's the white which is giving it the different look or the feel to me, from the seating position, without a doubt. So do I think the XE is worth the extra sort of £600-700 on top of the standard price of the 400X? I think if you want the spoked wheels, yes, I think so. And I think if you're more inclined that you prefer the spoke wheel, rimless, tubeless spokes to go on a tour with, then I don't think you couldn't upgrade it yourself. If you went to Rally Raid, that's going to cost you well over £1,000 to do that, where this is, off the shelf sort of stuff, and has that sort of built-in sort of warranty to it, I suppose. And plus you get the tyres to go with it. So yes, I think it is worth it in that way. Remember, there's no other actual upgrades to this at all in suspension or anything like that. There's nothing different to it at all. So, but you do get the hand guards and you do get the engine guards, so that's quite nice. So I think if I was now looking to buy a 400, I think I would go for the XC. I like the yellows. Of course, you could always, if you wanted to, pick up another tank, the green one, or just stick it straight on, because there's no other difference. You've got the alterations in the seat and stuff like that, but I think, as I said, I think this bike has matured well. I think it's come on, it's not been updated or anything, but it's just matured. I think the platform's matured, and I think there's probably been lots of little trips and things that they've done to it, which has just improved it a little bit more. and I think it's actually a really nice ride. I felt very comfortable riding this today, and I've had a lot of flinging around all over the place trying to find places to film and all the rest of it, but I've really enjoyed it. And I think Triumph really do know how to build a premium bike, and I think when you look at Triumph and their bikes, they are premium at the end of the day, and you are paying that bit extra. We're sort of at the top of the game, aren't we, in these sort of small capacity bikes, but I think Triumph have nailed it in that respect. I think they've still got that little bit of their market to themselves, which is quite interesting. All right, thanks for watching Paul's little bonus review video. I like doing these little extras. Oh dear, I gotta go find some coffee. Oh, I just put a little cafe up there. I'm sure they've done something with that side stand, you know. It's much better than it was. Right, onwards, back to the tour. Right, thanks for watching that bit. See you in the next bit. I've got to get this bike back as well. Right, so I suppose this little tour's coming to an end then, isn't it, really? Been out on the Triumph, had a bit of fun with it. But that was Steve. That was very nice. And done a bit of reminiscing here and there. But what does the old classic 350 been like? Has it done well? Yeah, of course it has. You know, it's fallen over twice. Sat there all night on its side, bless it. And then got picked up and off it went, got drowned and all the rest of it. But it's done well, as I normally expect it to. So, yeah. And what's it like being on the island again? Well, it's fantastic. I got lucky today. I only got a little bit wet here and there over the last few days. But no, it's been really lovely and sort of reconnected with the places that I used to come when and granted. And special little place, the Isle of Wight. Busier than it was, back in those days. It was just a couple of horse-drawn carts. It's heavy with cars now, is it, the island? But yeah, it's not the end of the world. I've been to busier places, but actually the roads have been pretty good, to be honest with you. Roads have been in pretty good condition, and yeah, it's well worth coming. It's well worth coming out to the Isle of Wight. It's a shame that it's quite expensive on the ferry, but plan your visit wisely so you can get here with a sensible price. But yeah, fabulous. Lots of road closures at the moment, but your classic 350 could go anywhere, so it doesn't really seem to matter. I don't know why this road's closed, there's nothing happening on it. But you got little things like the quirky things like the chain ferry, and it's worth for a couple of quid just to get on there, just so you've done it. And you got all the big attractions, living Black Gang China and all the rest of it. But do plan your trip at the right time, because so many of those things are closed at the moment. So I'm so early. I'm still in January, aren't I? So you can come up when it's things are open. But otherwise, you're in luck, really. I've still got one more thing left to do, and I think I should go and do that now. Come on. Of course, you've got to come do some skimmers. Fantastic. I don't know how many times we came here at night. Brando would get home from work, and that's first thing, take us down the cows, go throw some skimmers. All right. Off we get in the Triumph Herald, away we go. So I'm going to do that now.